I can't hear you anymore. Now you're gone.
I muted myself.
Oh, okay.
I can
Um,
be. Are we live?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Because I was saying I can be. I don't have to be James. I can be.
you could be anyone you want to be. You could be
That's
Phoebe
true.
now. You could be Phoebe, right?
I am.
Okay, good, and
I
it's
mean, I
spelled
have
right.
been.
Well, I know, but
Hi.
I need to probably change it in our uh co-host stuff in the Apple and Spotify.
No rush.
Okay,
So, how are you, Christy?
I'm
What are we
good.
doing here?
How are you?
I'm good.
Notice any jewelry, any
So, you've been
aesthetic?
reading horror stories today. You've been reading true horror stories. Okay.
True horror stories, yes. It is. Let me put this live stream on. It is not the best stuff in the whole world. I haven't done everything. I haven't read everything. I mean, I just got it Friday, really.
And that's a
So
big. How many pages is that? Do you know?
900. Hold on.
What?
And 900.
That is crazy.
I know, and I didn't bring like the second half in here, just the first half, because I haven't really looked through the whole book. But anyway, what we're talking about is Project 2025, and I think it's really relevant to talk about Project 2025 because
Yeah.
we just had a really fucked up election, um, and so I think it's really. I was like, how do I hear myself? I did you watch the election or did you not even turn it on when it
No, I
was
watched
happening?
it.
You did
No, I
watch it.
watched it. I mean, I didn't stay up late. I didn't dedicate my next day to it. I kind of stayed up until my normal time, and then I went to bed and said, like, well, I thought it might took a little longer. I was surprised that when I woke up, we already knew. But at the same time, when I went to bed, I was like, ooh, Trump's coming in a little strong. Like, oh, it's okay.
Well,
Um,
they tell you that there's going to be a red mirage in the beginning, and everybody's like, don't worry, it's a red mirage, it's a red
right.
mirage, and then the blue wave will come in. And typically,
Yeah.
that's what happens is because of the first few states closing polls at that time, that that's typically what happens. So I kept saying to Hannah, my daughter, I'm like, oh, no, it's just the mirage, it's just the red mirage. And she was like, how long does it last? I'm like,
Right.
yeah. So then we started to have these sinking feelings, and even Nevada was, it looked scary. Like New Jersey for a minute freaked me out. I'm like, that's where I'm from.
Your home state.
Yeah, my home state. I grew up there, and so I was a little freaked out by that. Um,
I knew what my home state was going to do, and
oh
they
fuck
did.
yeah, we're in Texas for anybody
Yeah.
that's passing through.
Well, and then I'm from Kansas, which, you know.
Red, it turned red. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was totally trying to see if we have all the states here. There we go. Um, yeah, so I did stay up late because I'm an optimist, and I was like, oh, it's gonna change, So then I went to sleep about midnight, and it was already pretty much called at that point.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they didn't officially call it, but it was kind of obvious what was happening. And then I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and I was just wide awake and I couldn't sleep. I felt really heavy. I felt like a sadness.
Yeah.
So that if you went to sleep, then the next morning, did it affect you at all? Did you feel any type of way?
Honestly, no. I mean, I was, of course, not happy. It's like, fucking shit. That's kind of how I felt, is just like, but I honestly thought this was going to happen. I
Mm-hmm.
could see it coming a mile away.
You
And,
did
oh, yeah, I should have put
before the
money.
election?
Oh, yeah,
What?
I knew who was going to win. Yeah.
Okay, tell me. Okay, tell me how. because all the media was saying it's going to be a blue wave.
Did you really believe that though?
You know, I'm gullible. Yeah,
I will say
probably.
because I mean the last few weeks before we really got to the election, I was seeing so many different people suddenly endorsing Trump that I'm like, whoa, what is happening? Like this is not like the last election where these are not, you know, far right, you know, it's not super conservative people. Like these are normal kind of middle of the road people that are starting to endorse him. And it just, to me, I saw, yeah, because I mean, and also the Democrats didn't have a strong ticket. You know, they have been faltering for years. And at this point, you know, it's like people kind of vote against something. They're not really voting for anything. And so I could just, yeah,
Exactly.
I wasn't shocked at all. I wasn't shocked. And I think, remember I told you, like, the way I see it is like, we got to hit rock bottom as a country and we've not got there yet. And until we hit rock bottom, we're not going to change stuff like we need to. We needed a complete, like, radical overhaul of the way things are done. And we got to be at rock bottom before that's going to really happen. And it's like, hey, if that's what Trump's job's going to be, you know, if that's what, you know. So I didn't feel this sense, like the same sense as you did, because I felt more like, okay, you know, let everyone mourn this, and but then I think it's going to motivate a lot of people to get up and get off the couch and do something. So I see that as the kind of light at the end of the tunnel with it.
Yeah, I was more blindsided by it, and thinking about well, people wouldn't vote for a, you know, a felon, you know, somebody that's lying, somebody that's derogatory and is talking about people like that, saying, you know, uh, he's going to take down all his opponent. You know, it's just it didn't seem like America was that filled with hate, and that is my blind optimism, I think, and I recognize that.
Well, maybe a little naive too, and a
Yeah.
little, you know, you're in your bubble, and that's what
Hmm.
you thought. You know, I know a lot of people that think along those lines or think like, no, this isn't a racist country. It's 100% a racist country still.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And honestly though, I like I said, it was heavy the next day. I was crying. I was depressed. That probably lasted a couple of days, and then I got angry,
hmm,
and then I started to say, okay, there's enough of that. Where do I fuel my anger? Where
yeah,
do I put it? Which is how you know, I'm built. You know, and and we'll get into more of the things that we're seeing out there, but that's what they like. They like weakness. It makes them happy, and
hmm,
I don't want to give them that anymore. Like I'm done with that. You know,
yeah,
I'm now it's I'm angry, and what can we do about it? Type
yeah,
scenario.
yeah.
Um, but okay, so I know we have different backgrounds, and we were raised differently, and all of that. Obviously, my roots are Texas. I was born in Dallas. I was raised a city girl in New Jersey and in a blue state, and with a lot of equality. What's that? Of course, everybody's equal. Duh. You know, that was my training. My upbringing was everybody deserves an equal opportunity, and so learning that's not it. That's not happening was surprising to me. You
Okay,
know, it
yeah,
really was. And so obviously being with my ex has shown me a lot of some scenarios that I wasn't familiar with, and I've learned a little bit about some things through him, but still not enough, not even close to enough. And
hmm,
I'm acknowledging that, and I'm open minded, and I want to learn, and I want to be taught what I
yeah,
don't know so that I can make a difference in some way.
yeah. I would say, yeah, and like the people that probably voted for Trump, you know, they weren't all racist. You know, there were, of
Right.
course, there's a big segment that's why they did, outright racist, undercover racist. You know, like, or the whole like, we got to protect the white man. Oh my God, they're coming to take all our rights, and you know, the ones who basically like once, what is the saying? I don't even want to. I can't think of it right now, but uh
No pressure. We've got time.
right. Basically, now that we're treating white men like everyone else, you take away, make it equal for them, then they think they're being, what is, the saying? Anyways, it's
I'm
bothering me
sorry.
because I can't think of it. It's like a saying.
That's okay.
Uh, but I think it's people that, yeah, definitely feel like that. And then it's also the people like you. I think a lot of people kind of like you voted for him where they don't think that it's a problem in this country. And so they think like, oh, that's just free speech and that's just comedy and that's just, stuff like that, where I don't think they make it a priority to cast their vote. It's like they're looking at the other issues he's talking about instead of, that he's a bigot and a sexist. They're just like, oh, but I don't even know what they saw because he's not even a good businessman. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I mean I know because he's been bankrupt six times. He went through bankruptcy, and he says only four because he's also a liar. So yeah, definitely, I can definitely see that. So, needless to say, this a lot of what I'm hearing is this is really kind of just shown a mirror on what America truly is, and um, instead of the illusion of what they say they are.
Yeah.
And that is a big eye opener for me. Um, I'm on TikTok a lot, so I see what other countries are doing. I see what other countries are saying, and they're all shocked. Canada came out and said, "Yeah, you know how you are with your illegal wall and all that. That's how we are with you." And I'm like, "Oh my god, what?" Yeah.
Yeah. I heard people talking about, oh, I'm in Canada. You can come here with us. And I'm like, they actually have pretty strict rules. Like, don't
Uh-huh.
extend that invite because a lot of people's going to get turned away. But,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree. I think also on, besides obvious racism and the LGBTQ plus community and women in
hmm
general are all at risk in what's potentially to come. I did talk to a friend of mine who is an attorney and is involved in HR, and companies are looking at their handbooks. A lot of companies will say, "Don't trust."
Uh-oh. We're froze? I'm froze. Are you froze? What's happening? Fuck.
HR because can you hear me? I'm
Yeah,
back.
now.
Okay.
Oh, was that
So
me or you? I couldn't
I
tell.
think I think it was me. It was me. The
Oh.
internet, my internet has been going in and out. It's been very,
Oh,
very
no.
steady. I know.
Yeah.
So if that happens, it's probably on my side.
Okay.
But we're back.
Okay.
So I was saying that I talked to a friend of mine, and she's involved with HR on a very high level, and she was saying that most of the time everybody says don't trust HR. It's there to protect the company, but you have laws that protect you. So now HR that's supposed to be inclusive and the things that they regulate are now about to change completely, where you can't do like a harassment charge and you can't do these other things that protect you. Project 2025 is saying some of these things should be removed, and the only type of claim in this is religious claims.
Why would HR already be looking into that though? They
Well, because
pump the brakes, HR.
no, no, not well. When you're with a company that is global, you have to. This is something that they have to do. They have to be ahead of it to find out what they're saying, because their job is to protect people. So what kind of protections can you offer
Yeah,
if the
I see what
federal
you mean.
government
If we
isn't
do go that
offering it?
route, okay, I see what you
Yes,
mean.
a proactive
Yeah,
approach to figuring out what's next.
yeah.
And super scary on that level. Can you imagine? Like, sexual harassment is now not a big deal. I mean, it makes sense with the administration that we're going to have, but
I mean, yeah, grab him by the pussy.
exactly. It's scary. It's
It
scary.
is. It's disgusting.
Uh
And
huh.
what I remember, I was like, what is the saying? When you are accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. That's what it is. Like, that's what I was getting at.
Mhm.
And it's a lot
Mhm.
of people that have been privileged for a long time, and now things are getting a little more equal, and it's making them very uncomfortable. And so they're going to definitely, that's what I think a lot of the people that voted for Trump, that's what's going on.
Mhm. Well, one of the things that did rise the day after the election was the stock market. So 401k went, and that's great, but a lot of the middle class don't necessarily have a 401k.
Right.
And so guess whose pockets just got a little fatter the day after that? The Elon Musks of the world and the
The rich people
Amazons.
getting richer.
Yeah, and everybody's like thinking that it's a win. Like, hey, look at what's going on, and everybody else is like, yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
No. Frozen again. What the heck? Oh no. I'm here by myself.
Hi. This is great.
Are we live? What are we live
Uh,
on? Because I was trying to find us on YouTube and I can't.
yeah, on Love You Miss You Bye YouTube.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong freaking thing. Okay. Gotcha.
Whenever it does that, freezes, which it may happen again,
Uh huh.
it's still you're still in there. Even if I'm not, you're still there. So you feel free to just talk, educate some
Okay.
people.
I can do
Um,
that.
yeah, we're totally.
We're totally live. Let's do it live. Every time you talk about live, that's what I think of. Just do it live. You know what I'm talking about? Bill O'Reilly, who definitely
I'm
voted for
looking.
Trump.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What are you
so
looking
Christine,
at?
your screen for some reason is fuzzy over mine.
Oh, okay. I look fuzzy and my internet seems fine. Well, son of a bitch. Oh, wait. The freak is happening?
I'm back. Yeah, this is great. This is great.
Hi.
This is what we get for trying to do it on a Saturday night, like we thought.
Why? What's wrong with
Um,
doing it on a Saturday night?
apparently the internet waves are really, really strong and
Oh,
everybody's
because
on.
everybody's on the internet?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Who's your
Um,
Never mind. I shouldn't ask who your provider is.
I don't care. It's just Spectrum.
Oh, I was just curious.
Who do you use?
Uh, AT&T.
Ah, so let's see. So, all right.
What?
So let's talk about some of the assholes. You want to?
If you want to, yes, I do. Who are
All
we going to
right.
talk about first, or second, or third? Who's going? We talking about just some of the people we've seen and some of the shit we've seen since the election. She's frozen again. But I'm going to start us off with the text that went out to lots of people across the U.S. Uh, about let's see here. Greetings. You've been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 12 a.m. November 13th sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you on a bus. Be prepared to be searched down once you've entered the plantation. You are in Plantation Group B.
I
And
saw that.
this, yeah, when a mass text that went out to so many people across the U.S. And I'm curious how we don't know who it's from. I don't understand that. I'm like, with it, how advanced technology is, how do we not already know who the hell sent that out? Because it's like, how did they get all those numbers? Like, I don't know how it even.
There
That's
was
kind
a
of high tech. I feel like.
there was a phone app that came out and said, "We noticed what happened, we saw it, and we've removed them." So there is a phone app, and I don't remember right now off the top of my head, but they did identify at least some of the burner phones or numbers and
Yeah.
remove them from the site. So, but I don't know how they got it. I don't know where they got it, and I don't know if this was a planned thing that has anything to do with the Democrats or MAGA. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts or
I have no idea. I just think it's disgusting, and it's like sad. That like this is where we're gonna head. Or not. I don't think the majority, but I think it's bullshit that people even feel empowered to do that right now. Like, yeah, no.
well, honestly, I think that it's by electing him,
Hmm.
we are showing everybody that it's okay to hate people. And I know that that's a
Yeah.
strong statement, but it's very, very true because
Yeah.
all the stuff they're spewing is hate. So why not like, oh, fuck yeah, now we've elected somebody that can say whatever they want. So this gives us a right to, and
To
that's why
say
it's
whatever we
scary.
want. Yeah.
And that's why it's scary. The good thing is there's a lot of people out there that are not going to allow that.
I
So
know.
keep
Yeah.
saying it, keep doing it.
Yeah. And for the most part, they're going to say the shit behind a keyboard, where they can be anonymous and not get punched in the face. Because that's what would happen if they were really out there doing it on the streets. So yeah, it's some good stuff we're already seeing, like the protests going on, or no. What was it where you had posted it, I think, where the people were out there with signs about like women are my property or what all was it, like homosex, but then it seemed like the students kind of rallied around him and ran him out of there, right?
Texas University, yes.
Uh-huh.
There were men that were standing on campus with signs, and one sign said, um, property of, or they said women, cars,
Oh
land,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and slaves,
Slaves.
all our property now.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. And then there was another sign that says women are property.
Yeah.
And then the homosexual signs, and the students came out in force.
I'm glad
With
too.
their own signs and
Yeah.
walked
'em
them
out.
right off of campus. So
Yeah, they need to be glad they didn't get fucked up. Like, they do that in front of the wrong people.
yeah, I know and it's gonna get like that. Like
Hmm.
I hope not. Like I hope not. But
I hope
if
not too.
you screw with the wrong person,
Yeah. Yeah.
like for example, Nick Fuentes, who came out and said, your body, my choice," like a big fucking asshole, like excuse
Yeah.
my language, but he was bad. And today they doxed his address. So he is, and it's
Nice.
been spread everywhere. He had to go to Google and blur out his house. It's bad. Yeah. So
Why would?
that's what
But
happens.
yeah, like, cause why do you think you can get away with stuff like that? Like, you can't.
No.
Yeah.
And then after he did the video, he posted again the same thing on Twitter, and 33,000 likes were on it. So he's not alone in his thoughts, and everybody's posting underneath. Amazon actually has a shirt on sale that says "Your body, my choice" with Trump's face on it.
Oh, who? Walmart?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Of course, fucking Amazon.
Yep.
That's gross.
It is gross.
So it's time to protest Amazon. No, like, yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah. I'm not even joking when I say that. Because at first I'm like, I'm joking. No, I'm not. No, the fuck, I'm not.
I know you're not. You've been saying this for a long ass time.
Yeah, no, I'm not. And that's what I'm saying. Now's the time to get activated. That's how I see it. It's time to activate. It's not time to be sad and, wallow in it. It's time to fight already. It's time because they're going to start already. It's like they're going to start trying to see how far they can push us already. They're already just like a child. They're going to push to see where your boundary is. How far can they push you? And we need to kind of come out and say, you can't push us. It's
Oh,
like, yeah, Trump won, but guess what? Half the country voted against him. He didn't win by very much. It was a very slim margin.
hmm,
So it's
I
still
know.
half the country that doesn't like his ass and is not going to stand for this shit.
Hmm.
So,
I want to
you
play
know.
you something.
Okay.
It's a man, minority man, interviewing a white older man, which is typically the issue in this scenario. So I'm going to read you that, or I'm going to let you listen to this, and you tell me what you think.
I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where
Can you turn it
blacks
up?
are not a
Turn it up.
minority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. You say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Asians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads,
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, it's the economy, stupid.
So that's one reason that this white man voted, because he wants to make sure that the white race doesn't die out.
Which is nowhere near going to happen. Like, whatever, but
Hmm. Yeah. So that was one thing that I heard. And
fuck your white fragility. That's exactly what that is.
hmm um, another reason that a Trump voter voted for Trump is
This.
cheese.
My daughter likes to take cheese and pepperoni and crackers for her lunch. I counted how many pieces of cheese were left in this before I ate any to make sure that I had enough for her to take every day for lunch this week. I counted the pieces of cheese because I didn't want to have to go buy more. That's why I voted for Trump.
I don't understand.
she,
That didn't even make sense.
she has cheese, a block of
Okay.
cheese, and she
Mm-hmm.
sliced it into many, many different slices. And she's counting how many to give her daughter at lunch. And because she has to count her cheese, and she can't use it all at once, so she basically doesn't want to have to go get more because it costs too much money. She's counting her cheese, and that's why she voted for Trump. Yeah,
Because Trump is going to fix that?
because
Trump's going
they
to give her
think,
more cheese?
I guess they think that Trump controls the store prices. What they don't realize is the store prices are owned by the elite. And we're just lining their pockets. They're going to raise prices. They have control. It's really, it's not that hard of a concept.
No. No. No.
The oth-
Sorry, but the millionaire, billionaire, whatever Trump is not worried about your cheese, honey.
No, he's not. The gas prices, there is a good opportunity for that to lower. Um, what else they were saying as far as the economy goes? Everything else is going to go up because of tariffs. There was a company in Philadelphia that met with their employees and said, I'm sorry, there's not going to be Christmas bonuses this year because we have to buy all of our materials now so that we don't have to pay these tariffs later. And so we need to use this money for materials. So this is going to happen across the board with people. I used to be in the roofing business. You could probably speak more to the other industries, but in the roofing industry, you have a lot of illegal, immigrants that are up on the roof, and they're not legal. And it's going to impact a lot of different industries, and they would help. The good thing is they would help make them a citizen. They would go through it. They had a program that they did, and they would do that. But it's going to impact, from what I'm hearing, I could be wrong, but the legal immigrants as well.
What about the legal immigrants as well?
That they will be impacted as well, from what I'm hearing. They want to do away with both. If
Oh,
they're not
legal
born
immigration
here.
too. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, no. Do you know who Perez Hilton is?
Sure do.
A blogger. Did you hear what he was talking about, his experience and his truth, his truth?
No, tell me.
Because he's from Cuba. His parents are from Cuba. He grew up in Miami, and that's got a huge community of Cubans. It's like the very prevalent population there. And he said that his own family, like he knows lots and lots of Cubans who immigrated here. They want to stop immigration too. They don't want any illegals coming, and they don't even want legal coming. I mean, it's like a lot of people, they want to use the bridge and then they want to burn it as soon as they crossed, as soon as they, took advantage of, to be able to come in this country and get here legally. They want to take it away so nobody else can, so that I guess their scarcity mentality. That's, that's all I can think it is.
So I have a question for you. One of the things that I've been struggling with is looking around the room and grocery store, gas station, and wondering to myself, did you vote for Trump? Did you? It's something that enters my mind now, and honestly, I've never really cared before.
So did the last election, you didn't feel like this? The last time when he ran against Hillary?
Oh, I was upset, yeah, but I don't remember him being as hateful in his election as he is now. I didn't vote for him. I can tell you that right now. But I didn't see the hate. Did I miss it? He was hateful. Was he saying stuff?
I mean,
back
he was
then?
still. That was back when it came out, the whole grab him by the pussy thing. He's always been hateful. I mean, he's always not rented to black people. I mean, he's always been a hateful person. So yeah, it was all. That stuff came out then too. I mean, I don't remember his campaign that well now because it was so long ago, but there was definitely the same type of things that happened this time around. Yeah, for sure.
So you felt like that after that election as well?
Yes, I was unfriending people. I'm sorry, I don't care. Like, I know that everyone right now, the thing is to say like, oh, I can be your friend even though you vote. Like, no, I can't. I don't have to be your friend because you're voting against, my rights, my son's rights. You're voting against everything I stand for. So, and I had to do that the last time. It's like it just gets sad. And I'm not now going to just like, unfriend everybody because I'd have to unfriend half the people I know apparently. No, actually, I wouldn't say that because most of the people I know wouldn't have voted for him. I'm just thinking coworkers really. In my actual community of people, none of my people vote for him.
Well, there's a lot of people that surround me that voted for him, and Facebook is a cesspool of it, and it's really, really like I'm trying not because a part of me wants to see it so that I can identify it and use it and talk about it. It's connected. I'm in social media. I'm connected. Just this podcast and all that it encompasses. You have to put it out there. The other part is like I don't want to be a part of X and Elon Musk. Like I don't want to support that man at all. He's freaking. Yeah.
I used to like him too. I can't believe I used to like him.
did
Now I feel like
too.
embarrassed that I used to like him. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
course.
because
he's kind of gone
a
wackadoodle
genius.
lately. Yeah.
He's a genius, and so you want to pick a brain of a genius to understand how did you do it? What learn. And he's still a genius, and that's even scarier that he's a genius because he could do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Well, and he will now because I definitely saw that I saw an article about that. Like he can't run himself because he's not born here. You know, he was an immigrant, but
Yes.
he basically bought his way to, you know, the presidency. He put like what, $140 million into Trump's campaign so he could, in essence, buy the right to still kind of be in
Yeah.
Trump's ear, I guess, and run things. Fucking
Well,
Elon Musk.
Joe Rogan today on his podcast, it was today or yesterday. I know.
I'm so disappointed in Joe.
I am too. I am too. Oh my God.
That's
I liked
probably
him
my biggest
too.
disappointment of this.
Yeah. I just. What are we
I know.
missing? What are they seeing that we're missing? Like that's
I don't know.
the part. I'm like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. He seemed like such a guy's guy.
Yeah, and he like made fun of Trump during the last election, you know, his last time running. Like he was not on the Trump train. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't.
Well,
I mean, I know the Democrats suck, but that still doesn't mean you have to jump on the Trump train. Hell, jump on the independent train. You know, like support Cornel West. Support somebody other than Trump.
yeah. Well, on his podcast, he came out and he said that he was texting JD Vance and Elon during the election. And he found out that Elon had a special app made from Starlight that gave him the results 4 hours before everybody else. And he goes, oh, he won. I'm out of here. 4 hours before the election was done. And he bragged about his app that showed him the results. There's a problem with that. There's
Yeah.
a big problem with that. And I don't want to go being like election fraud. I don't want to go being saying stuff like that. But it makes you go, how is that okay?
Or how did he, what would an app? I don't understand how an app, unless it was hacked. I mean, it had to have been accessing something it shouldn't have been.
Well, I think some of the ballot areas were able to connect to Starlight so that it was connected to the internet. And they're not supposed to be, from what I understand, connected to the internet. But some of the weird stuff, another weird thing that was said, they were saying how the voter turnout was record breaking and still Trump had less votes than he did last year. And he got the popular vote. And then these are in states where red won overwhelmingly. And then the Senate race and, governor's race and all that was blue, solid, almost at the numbers that they had. So it's some weird stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's, contradicting what was said. And he got the popular vote this time. He got the popular vote. He won straight across within 24 hours. Kamala conceded. So, and then last year it was weeks of voting counting it. And maybe, or last time, maybe that was because of COVID. That could have played a part in it. But yeah, so there's some weird stuff that have happened. I saw a video where one of the trucks accidentally, and I'm going to say it's an accident, dropped the ballots in the middle of the street, and somebody found it and returned it to the voting place. It was sealed. It wasn't tampered with, but it was in the middle of the fucking street.
That doesn't even make sense.
Got a video of them going, look, it's not even tampered, and yeah. So there's a lot of weird stuff happening. This is my hope. Now, I feel like I'm more of an independent than anything. There are some things on some sides that I can get with and some things on another side. One of the things I did was I wasn't a Biden fan. And so I went out and tried to find somebody else that I could kind of support. And that was RFK Jr. And because I can get behind his big pharma, crusade. I'm right after equality. comes big pharma for me.
Okay. Okay.
Those
Yeah,
are my
that makes
biggest
sense.
things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so I followed him. I could get behind some of the things that he was saying. And I was grappling with the fact that voting independent would surely get Trump in. That was what I was going back and forth in my head. Now, I also was grappling with the fact that if you don't vote independent and everybody thinks like that, you're never going to get them in. So I was having that debate in my head. But I didn't even have time to decide because he endorsed Trump. And then I was completely out. He did remain on some of the ballots, but I was completely out. And now he's going to be part of Trump's administration. He actually was with him during the election while it was happening. And he's going to be involved with women's health. Just makes sense, right? Women's health.
Yeah.
Why not? And maybe the light is that they will go after big pharma. Problem is, they're also greedy and money hungry, and I just
Yeah.
don't see it happening.
I was say the problem is they're controlled by money still. So why are we to think that something different's going to happen?
Yeah. So, those are some of the things that were going through my head, but I just Democrats had some issues, and I voted Democrat because I thought it was the only way to not get Trump in office, and that did not work. I don't know how many the independent people running got. I didn't see that, but
I believe it wasn't, because I know some people say like, oh, if you didn't have that, then Kamala could have won, but it wasn't so many that it would have made a difference if they didn't vote independent, I believe.
okay.
They
so-
didn't have very strong independent candidates this time around. Like sometimes we do have pretty strong ones, but we didn't. And Cornel West, who I thought was running, he was a write-in. I didn't realize that he was just a write-in.
One of the other things, where is it? So as I was doing starting, and I just started, I only touched it, the 2025 Project 2025.
Yeah.
I started to do a little research to find out, because one of my biggest things was, is he, Trump's separated himself. Is he really going to separate himself, or is this really going to pass? What are they going to do? And it was hard for me to figure out if I should read this, if they're not even going to touch it or not. The Republicans have come out, some of the extremists have come out and said, ha, we were going to do it all along. I'm hearing an echo. Is there anything playing? Do you have the live playing anywhere? No?
No, ma'am. Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, good. So anyway,
Do you still hear it?
Hello?
Do you hear it still?
Yep. It's in my ears. And I don't know why. Let me make sure.
I'm going to mute myself and then tell me if you hear it still.
Okay. Hello? No, I don't hear it.
So what could it be over here? I don't have anything playing.
Huh. Okay, let me see. I think we'll be all right. I'll figure it out. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, the Project 2025. So I started to do a little research. I talked to a couple friends. I have a lobbyist friend as well, and they feel like it's true. It's really going to happen. I went online and I saw that he's distanced himself from the Heritage Foundation because it got a little hot in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, very, very secretly, he's been talking with the America First Policy Institute. This is otherwise known as AFPI. And there is a policy that he does get behind, and it's called the America First Agenda. This is who he's been working with. This
Okay.
company is, so the difference between the two is they're pretty much identical. The difference is the Project 2025 was made for whoever steps in. It does not specifically say Donald Trump.
Gotcha.
the America First Policy Institute is centering it around Donald Trump and the way he wants to do it, but very similar things from one to the other. But it's secret, so nobody knows about it, and nobody has seen it. I know that part of that is for him to go out and just completely gut the executive branch, and lifetime politicians are going to be gone, and it's going to be treated like a corporation where you can fire somebody at will.
I don't see. I can't be mad at the getting rid of career
Neither can I.
politicians thing,
I'm not mad.
but it's also it can't be firing people at will. Like he doesn't get to fire people. This isn't The Apprentice. So I would be in favor of term limits, though.
Which I think he also wants to set. The problem is he's wanting to get rid of people that don't think like him.
Yeah, he wants to get rid of people
That's
that
our
oppose
protection.
him. And
Yes.
yeah, that's the concern. He wants to get rid of journalists that speak out against him, you know? He wants to get rid of, any opponent that's going to put up a fuss and fight.
Yeah. So the media is obviously the next stop, is to get rid of opposing views like
Yeah.
a dictatorship,
Yeah.
fascists.
Yep.
Do you see? I've also seen a lot where they compare Nazi Germany and the way that they rose in Adolf Hitler. One of the things they said is that they were like us. Everybody could do whatever they wanted. They were actually a progressive state, more so than we were. They had areas, they backed each other. And then this guy came in because of the economy, and they wanted the economy to be better. And there was a TikToker that said, I talked to my grandmother, and she said to me, yeah, we laughed at the brown coats too. Meaning how we laugh at MAGNA, like they're extremists, that's not going to happen. And so she's saying, we laughed at the brown coats too, and look what happened to us. And they let somebody get in because they thought he was going to change it and fix it and do it differently. And we see how that turned out. Yeah, because and if you look at some of the similarities, it's kind of scary, because he said we want a pure Germany, we want pure Germans here, purity. It's the same type of white men, same type of connection. He also, I think his last rally was in Madison Square Gardens, and it emulated a lot of the Hitler-esque things that have been held there by those type of people. In 1938, I think it was the rally, and he's aware that people are going to make these comparisons. He's aware. He's got people around him, and it's really scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary. But he's a pawn. I feel like he's a pawn. I don't know.
Do you? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. When I say pawn, I mean, like, no matter what he does, he's got people behind him that are pushing a certain agenda and a certain way to do it. He was a Democrat. He used to be a Democrat. And now, and he's quoted as saying, let me actually read the quote.
When's this quote from?
Before he was ever elected president.
Okay.
Where's the shirt? Where's the shirt? Hold on. Oh, here it is. From People magazine in 1998. If I were to run, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific.
Did he really say that?
He really said that.
When did he say that? What year was that? That's hilarious.
He said it to People magazine in 1998.
Okay, because I'm looking here at his history, and it says In 87, he registered as a Republican. Uh, and then in 99, he was the Reform Party, a Democrat in 2001, a Republican in 2009, an affiliated in 2011, and Republican in 2012. So he's kind of all over the place. He doesn't know what he believes or wants.
It's whoever's going to back him because he doesn't have any. I mean, he probably has views and he's just like, whatever they want.
His views are green. That's all he wants. So what's going to get him more money, more power? Yeah. And I mean, the comparisons to Nazi Germany, I guess my concerns are more just him trying to become a dictator, not even necessarily like, the atrocities that happened in Nazi Germany. I don't know that it could go that far, but I think it could go as far as suddenly becoming like Putin or, China, where we just suddenly have this authoritarian dictator that we can't get rid of. It's like Christian fundamentalism taking over. I think more than, what in white purity, it's more Christian fundamentalism I'm worried about, I think.
Yeah, the trad wife scenario.
What's that?
Trad wife?
I don't know the trad wife. Yeah, what is that?
Okay. It is basically they stay home and they're homemakers, and their husbands out. They work, and they're supposed to cook and clean and take care of the babies and have babies, lots of babies. And their husband gives them money, and they're stereotypically, and I hate to do that, but I'm going to for this segment. They've got the come on, what are the big cups called? Stanley cups. They have Stanley
Yeah.
cups. They've got blonde hair, typically, the nails. And I'm watching on TikTok them say, because somebody goes, I'm a trad wife, and I get my husband's credit card, and I get to go do this, and I get to go do that. Doesn't sound so bad now, does it? And no, it doesn't. Except if he divorces you and you have no money and you have to take care of yourself. See, those are the things that they don't think through. Is you should have something for yourself so you can survive. Oh, since we're on the topic, no fault divorce is in this. No fault divorce.
What does that mean?
That means that if they take it away, you have to prove why you need to be divorced. You've got to prove it in court.
That seems like that could hurt men and women. That's that
yes.
Christian fundamentalism shit.
But that's what it is. I mean, so now you have, picture this. You have
How could Trump be in some favor of that? How many times has he been divorced?
Does that even matter?
No,
he's
a hypocrite. So
It's exactly. But they want to take away no fault divorce. So if this could be really a dangerous situation for a woman that is being abused in her home, and she can't leave because they aren't allowed to do that without proving why. And you really think it's going to be easy to prove something like that? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, it's the way it used to be. And I forget, I wonder what year it was changed. But that would also take away money and spousal support. It's all going to be, their goal would to be favoring the man in every scenario.
golly.
Did you see it? Everybody's talking about no fault. No fault divorce. I've had internet for a while now.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's see. A no-fault divorce is a legal process that allows a couple to end their marriage without assigning blame or proving wrongdoing. In a no-fault divorce, either spouse can petition the family court for a divorce, and the court can grant it without requiring evidence of a breach of marital contract. In Texas, the legal term for a no-fault divorce is insupportability. That means that the marriage is ending due to irreconcilable conflict or discord. Some critics of no-fault divorce say it undermines the sanctity of marriage and hurts men. However, a 2003 paper published by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that states that adopt no-fault divorce experience a decline in female suicides and domestic violence. Even though Texas is a no-fault divorce state, either party can still allege fault in the breakup of the marriage. The most common allegations are adultery or cruelty. So they would like to strike that and have no fault divorce. So that's one area. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Another thing that I've been seeing is the prepping for the women's health and how we overcome it. They've reported 2 Texas women have died, and because they had to wait to the last minute to get approval, so there was like a 4-hour time frame for one. One of them was 18 years old, and I saw something with an OBGYN. And I'm just going to see if I'm going to play it for you, because she reports that there are a lot more, the doctors are talking, that there is a lot more death in Texas than they're reporting. Let me find it. Do I have it? Oh, here it is.
Hi. I don't want to scare you, but I want to give you some advice. Get your birth control in order. Get an IUD if you want one. If you don't know if you want kids now, please know there's a 1 in 250 to 1 in 1,000 chance of pregnancy with an IUD, not 0. If you know you absolutely don't want kids, make an appointment for sterilization. I'm seeing from my OBGYN colleagues just today, a colleague had 5 requests for sterilization. If you know you want it, get it done. Do something about it before January. Right now, it's not clear if he will have all 3 branches of government. But if he does, expect a national abortion ban. Expect dismantling of the ACA and free contraception. Expect the possibility that he will limit access to birth control. Expect cuts to Medicaid, an insurance program where 50% of women get their health care. The health safety net that all those voters relied upon yesterday as they cast their ballot, that's going to disappear for many women in many places all across America. And please understand, OBGYNs can only do so much. I have heard from doctors who practice in Texas that there are more women who have died that haven't been reported on, and that doctors were told by their hospitals that they could not intervene. This is what 55% of white women voted for. This is what 45% of Latina women voted for, and 38% of Asian women voted for. If you do not want to be pregnant, make an appointment. Do it now.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And Plan B is something that you can stock up on, and it's about $40 a box, so it's pretty expensive, but you can stock up on it and save it, and it's good for up to 4 years. So that's an election cycle. So keep that in mind. And even if you're not worried that it can happen to you, it could happen to your child. It could happen to your friends or your coworkers, and we got to look out for each other. So I'm past. I can't have children anymore, but my daughter can. You know, they're telling you to not use the period tracking apps so that you're not trackable. They are saying to stock up on tampons if you use them, because a lot of the Christian nationalists believe that can break a hymen and do not want you using them. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's really, really twisted. And so tampons are at risk. Pads, there's a lot. there's a lot that we have to consider when we're trying to protect people knowing what's going on. Then, of course, you have them wanting all women to take a either an ultrasound or a pregnancy test before you travel outside the state of Texas. That's also something they're talking about. So I saw somebody say, okay, so we don't have gambling in Texas, so we can go gamble in Vegas and place bets and smoke weed because it's legal there. And nobody says when we come back, what'd you do? Show us. You're not allowed to do that because you live here. But you have to do that when you leave the state because they're afraid you're going to get an abortion. That's really scary.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that's just some of the things that I've been seeing when it comes to your reproductive rights. And
that
that's
project. Yeah.
well, and he vocalizes that. There are Republicans in Texas that say that women should get the death penalty for it.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
be
in Texas,
jailed.
votes for him every time.
Uh-huh.
I think I was more devastated over Ted Cruz. Like, I mean, I was really hopeful this time that Colin Allred might give him
So was I.
like that one. I was really sad about. Also,
I voted for him.
I just
too.
so wanted Ted Cruz gone. Oh my God. Did you see the video when Ted Cruz won and he did his little speech and he had mentioned Trump and his daughter?
That was
I
so
loved that.
great.
I know.
was
She was
so
like,
great.
don't clap for that.
She's a legend now, just so you're clear.
Yeah,
just so we're
she
clear.
is.
My daughter showed me, and she's like, "Isn't she awesome?" I'm like, "She's freaking great."
Yeah.
He goes, she's like, "I'm sure that they made him wear red." I'm like, "I don't know, probably."
Yeah.
But that, she's I don't know how old she is, so she's probably not. But I was like, she's so grounded. She's so in trouble.
Yeah. He's such a
Dinner's going to be a
douche.
little testy.
He's
little
the
intense.
worst. He's such
Yeah.
a goofball.
So, what are some ways? I feel like you've been out there and been an advocate before. What are some ways that you would recommend we help and get educated? Historians, just talk to me about what you think we should do.
Historians, I don't know. I mean, history repeats itself, but no, I don't know that you need to look at the historians. I would say just look around your own community. I mean, see what groups are out there that are kind of like-minded and that you could join in on. And honestly, I was having a conversation with Caleb today about politics, and why did he ask me about the Senate? That's what it was. He suddenly asked me about who are the senators here in Texas. And I told him who, and we were just talking about different things related to politics, and I told him like I sometimes wish I would have went into politics, because I told him like, Caleb, is that something you'd want to do one day? And I said, Mommy wishes she would have went into that. And he was like, well, why don't you? And it gave me a minute of like, why don't I? But I mean, I would say I hope people use this as motivation to like figure out how do it themselves. I mean, like, don't wait on somebody else to set it up for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that's not much right now, but that the conversation with me and Caleb today made me like, huh.
So, are you telling me you're running? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I mean, I've always wanted to, but I don't know that I'd win, not yet, and the world wouldn't be ready for me yet, because they'd pull stuff out on me that I wouldn't get a popular vote. I'm a little too radical for them. But yeah, I mean, educate yourself on your local politicians, your local representatives. I would say start there and then just kind of grow from there. Yeah, definitely try to find some news that's truthful and accurate, so you can keep up with what's going on. But it's hard to do that right now. But it's out there. Find independent media. The Young Turks. I love the Young Turks. I like them a lot. Jimmy Dore. He's someone I like a lot.
Let me write this down. Young Turks. Is this a podcast or is this
It's a news network. They have a podcast. It's an independent news network. They're independent.
Okay. Young Turks.
The Young Turks. You haven't heard of the Young Turks?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
I've never
Yeah.
really followed politics. I just haven't. And
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm in the education mode right now, so I want.
I mean, right now, it's just,
consume it.
yeah, keep your ear to the street and get out there when they're out there, like if there's a protest or something you're interested in going to, go. That's our part of what me and Caleb was talking about is like, you're going to be out there with me, buddy. You're going to be protesting. I told him, I said, Grandma used to protest. Grandpa Fred used to. He was like, they seem like they would. I
No.
thought it was cute. Yeah. Yeah. So things like
So
that.
we need to look and see what's out there so that we can be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. And I'm down. And also building communities is a really big deal because they want to divide us,
Yeah.
because we're more powerful united. And so we need to make sure that we're getting into our communities and building up the nucleus to take this further.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have our voices heard. And I think this is a good step for us, to be able to have topics and discuss politics and what we're feeling. And I think that it should be a part of every episode, even if it's just the first 15, 20 minutes of what's happening and where we're feeling and that type of thing, or if something we want to share.
Yeah.
And I think that we should always incorporate it into what we're doing. If not, make it the whole episode. It just depends.
I
where
think
we
it
are.
should definitely, yeah, I would like to talk about it, everyone, because I guess that's the biggest thing about what can you do. What you can do is don't go back to sleep. Like, don't let it subside. Don't let that fire and passion you felt after, the day after the election, don't let that energy, die in you, and then you just kind of go back to normal and, well, it's not affecting me yet. Like, don't let it go, keep that,
It's JoJo.
stay interested. Huh?
It's JoJo. Hi, JoJo. I didn't know who it was when it was on my thing. Talking with JoJo. She does true crime, and she's got, well, I don't know, is it 10,000 followers on TikTok? I mean, she's pretty good, and I follow her, and I'm wanting to do a collab with her. So hi, JoJo. We're talking politics today. So you were saying something, Phoebe?
Oh, was I still I didn't know if JoJo wasn't going to talk. I'm like, where's JoJo?
Oh no, she's on the chat. Glad to see you live. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I do think it's important to get out there with your communities and keep us connected.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying you want to make it sure that the politics is in.
Oh, just it stays present. That's one of the good things about. I don't want to say it's a good thing about Trump winning, but I saw it like this the last time when he did win. Is just like, because if Kamala would have won, a lot of people would have went back to sleep and thought like, oh, the work is done, and it's like right now our government is just in shambles either way it goes. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties are controlled by money, and so I almost hate when a corporate Democrat wins, because I know, a lot of people are going to kind of just go back to daily life. Nothing's going on. Everything's great. And it's like, that's what I was talking about. You got to kind of hit rock bottom before you can rebuild. And this is the shit that's going to get us to rock bottom. Because, I think the biggest, you got to get money out of politics. That's what I'm going to say every time, of like, how do you fix it? Get money out of politics.
And
yeah.
religion and the black man or the white man.
Yeah.
Promote each other and the real people, and kind of do that.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about it. This is going to be something that we definitely incorporate into the podcast, and I'm ready to be educated, and my eyes are open.
Yeah, I want to say the Action Network .org. That's a good place to go and sign up, because you can volunteer and get involved through them. The ACLU is another one you always want to look into, and especially if you got a local chapter. Let's see here, who else?
I agree, JoJo.
What'd JoJo say?
She said the Democrats should have let Joe go a while ago.
Oh God, yeah.
She didn't even have a chance.
No, she didn't. She didn't at all. Yeah, he should have never. We should have had a primary. We should have been able to primary, and that's, as long as Trump doesn't like make it a dictatorship, at least we're gonna have a primary, a fair, primary.
Yeah.
The next election.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is money ever going to go away? It's not. How can it? They're too powerful. You know, just like Amazon. We can say everything you want about, Bezos, but everybody uses Amazon.
The Young Turks used to try to push for it. They still do, I'm sure. I had stopped listening to them for a long time just because I used to be so obsessed with politics and current events that it would stress me out and affect my mood. And so I stopped some years back, and now I'm back listening again. Of course, it's like, yeah, now I'm reactivated. Like I said, now my son's older to where he can start getting involved with me. I kind of went dormant while he was young, and I didn't want to be away from him. And but now I want him to see what's out. I want him to be taking part in this. I want him to be part of the next movement that changes things here. So I've been listening to again, but back when I did listen to them, they had a big thing. They were trying to get a constitutional amendment, basically, to get money out of politics. That's the way you can get it done, because the Constitution, you can add amendments to it. That's not, it's not finite. It's not already just like, this is it, nothing else. You can add more. And they used to try to push for that. And I do remember doing like work, related to that movement they were doing.
Do you think that they have the power now that they have all three, that they could remove a lot of our
Yeah.
rights very easily and fast?
It's scary, honestly, if they have
There's
all
the
three.
filibuster, though. We have that.
But the Democrats are so weak, Christy. They often they don't use the things they can because they're so like, oh no, we want to follow tradition, or oh no, decorum. Like they have all these, they follow them, but the Republicans don't. Just like when Barack Obama first came into presidency, he had the House and the Senate and the presidency, and he didn't do shit because he didn't want to, oh, I want it to be fair. I want both sides to decide. The Republicans don't give a shit. They're going to steamroll. Like, trust me. Yeah, they got all three. They're going to be doing shit. They're going to be active, and they're going to be making changes. And that's when I say we got to hit the fucking streets, like, and when I don't mean keyboard warriors. I don't mean, yeah, you can get on Twitter, spread the word, but like, you need to be out there in the streets too. Like, part of what Trump's wanted to do is use the military against protesters. Like, that's scary as shit.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
And so you gotta be willing to go to jail.
You
more or
got to be
less-
willing to go to
yeah.
jail. My sister and my niece have been arrested at a protest in Dallas.
Really?
They were when they shut down that bridge. I don't know if you remember that, Black Lives Matter, and they shut down
Yes.
My sister and niece were on the bridge. They got shot with those little sandbag pellets. My niece got put in handcuffs.
Oh my god.
My sister, like, yeah, I was on the phone with them because this is when Caleb was a baby, or else I would have been out there with him, And part of what I did today, I showed Caleb pictures of mommy protesting and aunt, his aunt's protesting, and I was showing him pictures of that. Like, we're gonna be out there, Caleb. Like, and he's ready for it. Like, okay, yeah, you got to really get out there and be willing to go to jail. You do.
Well, I'm all in. So,
I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Usually you don't go to jail. Usually it's a peaceful protest and you go out and you just
usually.
are heard. But I mean, yeah. And yeah, it's one of them things like if you're kind of just starting out and like a little nervous about like, oh, I don't want to go to jail, just don't be in the front line then. Like, come out and just be a body in the back.
Well, I'm not
The vets
excited
and
to
the
go to
OGs will
jail.
get on the front line and go to jail. Okay.
I'm not excited to go to jail. I'll tell you that. But I think it's important enough to get out there and be a part of it. And maybe I'll start out in the back and then I'll move to the front. But
I think
but
your
I
daughter
will.
would be into it. I'm gonna invite
Yeah.
her.
No, she would. She totally would.
Yeah.
She totally would. I mean, she's
Have you ever
fighting for
seen
her
any of
rights.
have you seen I should send you pictures to post.
I will put it on the streaming when I.
Oh, would
it's
you?
on Simply Vibin'. Yes.
Wait, I have one I
Obviously.
actually I could probably show you now. Where's it at? It's funny. I had just where's it at in here? Because I might be able to show it like on the camera. I don't know where it went. I had just found one the other day that I was like, oh,
Damn. See, you're gonna teach me how to be a badass.
my mom taught us, so
Well, I'm ready to
um
learn.
but Caleb asked what a protest was even, and I showed him videos of
So, what made him ask that
protests.
question? Is it?
He
what-
asked something about the Senate, like I said, and I don't know why. He just was like, who's our senators? And I told them who they were, and I was like, we don't like them, son. Like John Cornyn and Ted Cruz. And we just somehow started talking because I had asked him about like, is that something you'd want to do one day? You know, that's something I would have loved to have done, and I'd love to see you do it. I think you'd be great at it. And that's how we just started talking about it.
How old were you when you did your first protest?
In my late 20s, honestly, because when I was young, I was just a knucklehead. I wasn't into all that politics. You know, I wasn't into that. But when I got older, especially when I went to college, I got indoctrinated in a liberal college. Not really. I just got smart. You know. Yeah. So I can't find this pictures. I'm only looking in one space because I'm like, I could have swore I probably deleted it. That's probably where it's at.
Well, you got to find them and send them to me.
Keep talking about something else. You've never been to a protest, Christy?
Not that I could. No. Mm-mm.
Really?
Nope.
You know what?
To Austin.
Go ahead.
I wanted to go to Austin for cannabis and walk there.
Oh, okay.
But I never was able to make it out there. But that would have been my first protest that I went to.
Okay.
But it wasn't equality. It was about a plant, which I thought was important at the time, but it doesn't trump this at all.
No. It's bothering me because the one of them I know how to find it, but the other one it's an older one. It's a very old one it actually popped up on my Facebook timeline recently, like the time hop, and I took a screenshot of it because I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That I'm like obsessively like, where's it? Oh, I just found it.
You found it.
I found it. I need to text it to you.
Yeah, because your screen is a little blurrier than mine, and mine will be clear when I show it on the screen.
That's a cute one. That was a Occupy Wall Street, like an Occupy protest, actually. You remember Occupy Wall Street?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Great.
Oh, do you see you got to read what the signs say. Can you see the signs?
You read it to us.
My sign said, the world is a dangerous place to live in, not because of evil people, but because of people who do nothing about it. It's a quote from Albert Einstein. Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you see the guy out there with the anonymous, Vendetta, V for Vendetta mask, and
oh my God,
yeah.
I saw a whole documentary on this. Actually, did you know there's a documentary on this?
On
Not
what?
about you walking, but
no, I know, not me.
but about Anonymous and how it all started. And, and they talk about this walk that you're talking about.
Actually, yeah, I probably had watched it because Anonymous used to amuse me. I actually was friends with someone in Anonymous.
You were?
I was, yeah.
Well,
or I was like a guy that I was kind of like talking to, but then when he started, like one day I found out he was like hacking into my stuff, so I'm like,
what the hell?
Not
you
probably.
don't want to be dating somebody like that. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's why they say stay away from policemen too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not that all policemen are bad, but I do remember that, and they do talk about how how Anonymous actually played a part in Trump getting elected.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the way that the rebellion started with them, and it just branched into this. I mean, it's a newer one. I'm telling you, I need to send it to you because I think you would like, especially because you were part of that. Yeah. So it was an eye opener. Me and my daughter watched it.
That's cool. I know I've seen something, but I don't know if it's the same one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's
Anonymous used to do some good stuff. I'm disappointed if they helped get Trump in. But
they say
I have to look into that.
But and they say that was one of the regrets. They because they split up.
Yeah. Okay. And went to the 4chan thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
The
I know what you're
4chan
talking about.
is what propelled it.
And 4chan just is a whole different beast. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So the original Anonymous people were like, we had a hand in this and we regret it, and that some of them that were part of that original team are being utilized in a positive way now for the good.
Okay.
The government.
Yeah. And you know
'Cause
what?
they probably don't have a choice.
I just remembered you asked me what was my first protest, and I said my late 20s. That's a lie now that I think about it. Because my sister has always been into that. And I went to my first protest when I was like 14 with her. It was in Topeka, Kansas. And it just hit me. I just remembered this. And they let the KKK come and stand at the state capitol and like do their own little show of whatever, and they like barricaded it so people couldn't. So we went out and protested that. I remember actually like protested against the KKK actually being at the fucking state building in Topeka. That was in like
Wow.
probably in like 93. I remember that actually. So I have that would have
You've
been my
been
first
doing-
one.
This is
My sister's been doing it. Well, my sister though, she's the kind of who the fire starter for me, you know, because she's been doing it for her, and she's older than me, so you know, and I look up to my sisters greatly. But she, and what I actually wanted to mention, do you remember the Black Lives Matter protest here in Dallas where the guy, the shooting happened, the sniper was like shooting people
Yep.
and all of that?
Yep.
My sister was at that one also, and her car got shot up by the guy. Her car
God.
had bullet holes in it, and the FBI kept her car. Like she couldn't. I remember my brother-in-law had to go pick her up because like everyone ran. You know, it's like everyone just took off running when the bullets started flying, and she ended up, you know, just I don't even know. She ended up somewhere totally different and nowhere near her car, so she had to call my brother-in-law to come get her. But when she went, like they had taped off that whole parking lot that she was parked in, and since she didn't get her car right away, you know, she couldn't get it, and there was bullet holes in it, and the FBI came to her house to interview her. Yeah, so the FBI kept her car for over a week. I don't know why, running ballistics on the holes, I guess. I know, I'm just talking because you said to keep talking.
Keep talking. I can hear you.
So,
I can hear
okay.
you. So go
But
ahead.
yeah, I remember that happened. That was, what year was that? Again, that was one where Kayla was a baby, so I didn't go out that night. But yeah, she was in that. And then I sent you another picture. I don't know if you saw it yet of me and my sisters when we went. It was because like I said, they had got arrested on that bridge, and that pissed me off. So I did start, you know, I went to a couple protests back then, even though Caleb was little. And I sent you a picture of that one because it was during COVID. And I did get out then to a couple of the protests here in Dallas. That was when we got a picture in, yeah. Do you see, can you read my signs?
Oh, it's backwards for me. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you remember earlier when I said, fuck your white fragility? That's what my sister's sign said.
Oh my God.
And my other sister's sign, I think it said, welcome to America, and it had the 3 Ks. This was when Trump was in office, and my sister had on a presidentless shirt. Like, yeah, we were serious about it.
That. And so it was COVID? Is that when
That
it
was during
all going on?
COVID.
Oh, that's
That
why the
one.
masks. Okay.
That was it was George Floyd. It was when all that happened. That's what during that time.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
You look like a badass. Can
I
just tell you that?
was.
You
Thank
really
you.
look like a freaking badass. I want to be you. This is so great.
Well, we're going to be back to it now.
Yeah,
like
we
I
are.
said.
I want to learn. I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so
It
important.
is. It is. And that's our right as an American citizen. Freedom of speech. You know, that's our right to protest our government. You know, that's was in the Constitution. Like, protest your own government. Like, hold them accountable. Don't let them just bulldoze you and do what they want to. And that's what Trump wants to do. And that's what we can't let happen.
Yep. And it's going to get a little crazy out there. I think it's going to be crazier than it was back in the day. Just not every time. I mean, there are people that have been doing this, you know, it's been happening since forever. You know,
Yeah.
where they've gone out, and some have been hurt, and you know, they have it in history, and you can see also the women fighting for the right to vote, and it's like it's hard to comprehend for a lot of people, me included, and it's time to comprehend. It's time
Yeah.
to wake up. It's time
Yeah.
to see what's happening in the world and make a difference in whatever way that you possibly can. So I know that at least I know that there's a woman march but I don't think it's here, November 8th. Wait, that was yesterday. I think it
What?
happened. I think there was a woman march yesterday somewhere. I get
Okay.
text messages like I'm part of. I did donate to Black Lives Matter, so
Okay, cool.
back in the day.
Yeah, it kind of got tainted in the end, but it started
Yeah.
out, I think, as it had the right,
Yeah.
you know.
So I donated
Yeah.
to them, and then I also I donated to them. I haven't donated to them in a while, and the women's movement, I get text messages constantly. This is what's happening. This is where we are. This is the next time. And they asked me if I would want to ever be a part of helping in some way. So I said
Okay.
yes. So we'll see what happens from that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Texas, it's just behind in a lot
Yeah.
of things.
And I did want to mention, tell your daughter if she's interested, like, because you said, what can you do or how can you start preparing? Like, start researching old people, people that used to be in the movement, like when it was really strong. I would say look into the Weathermen Underground. That is a big group from back in the 60s. Mario Savio, he had a powerful speech outside of UC Berkeley. And that was wasn't that the university where the kids got shot? They actually got shot by the government, like they were in helicopters shooting at the protesters. So we've had crazy shit happening in the history of our country related to that, and it's like I said, it can't die, it can't go away. That's where we're at again. But yeah, Mario Savio is a cool one to look into, a cool activist from back in the day.
Spell his last name.
Savio.
Mario
Yep.
Savio. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, an American activist and key member of the Berkeley free speech movement. And he gave some really passionate speeches. There's one that's kind of famous. One speech that's very famous.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people you should. Leonard Peltier is another one. I had mentioned him to Caleb today.
Spell his last name.
Peltier.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of movements that, like, a lot of them ended up kind of in the end, like a lot of things, they didn't really go the right direction, but they all started with the right motivation. So
Yeah, I think this was a really good episode. I'm probably gonna put it on Love You Miss You Bye, the podcast as well, because
Okay.
all I was gonna do was go on and video myself and say, I really don't feel like talking about anything, because my head's somewhere else right now, and
Yeah.
so this really can kind of be for both, I think. So I'm gonna edit it. I'll put some love into it.
Okay.
And make it a good episode. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about this? I think we covered a lot of things. I'm sure we might have missed a few. I'm going to do some more research as far as what I can find out with this.
I could always save it for the next time, but I wanted
No, say
to
it.
go over some of what Trump's like last presidency looked like.
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you
do
want to
it.
do that now or
No,
save
no.
it for the next one. Because, I mean, like you said, a lot of people, the lady, the cheese story, like, it's because I can't buy cheese. Like, I don't know why you think Trump's going to fix that. Like, do you not
Yeah.
know what he did last time he was in office? So, there's the statistics for the entirety of his first time in office. So, who the fuck know how it's going to go this time? The economy lost 2.7 million jobs. Lost 2.7 million jobs. The unemployment rate increased by 1.7% to 6.4%. Okay. Paychecks did grow faster than inflation, so I'll give them that. Average weekly earnings for all workers were up 8.4% after inflation. So that is one good thing. But after-tax corporate profits went up and the stock market set new records. So when corporate profits go up, we should have been up more, but anyways. The international trade deficit that Trump promised to reduce went up, didn't go down. It was the highest in 2020. It was the highest since 2008, and it increased 36.3% in those 4 years, the U.S. trade deficit. The number of people lacking health insurance rose by 3 million.
Ah.
the federal debt held by the public, so what you and I hold, that went up from 4.4 trillion to 21.6 trillion. So it went up 7.2 trillion dollars in those 4 years. Home prices rose 27.5%, and home ownership only increased 2.1 percentage points. Illegal immigration, even though he was hard on them, and oh my God, the border, and I'm a hard illegal immigration increased.
Didn't he rule against it? I heard like they were trying to pass it, and he said no.
What's that?
A law to remove. No, what were they saying?
No. Oh, I know right
that
now.
wasn't
He's
it.
saying his first day one right now is going to be a big mass deportation.
But he's also saying that he wants to do 1 million deportations in a year, every year.
Oh
And do
my
you know how much
God.
that's going to cost us?
I
Like
can't,
a lot
honestly,
of
a lot.
I saw somebody that was tracking it. It's $17,000 for just a plane ride.
Yeah. This one's interesting. Coal production declined 26.5% and coal mining jobs dropped by 25%. Carbon emissions from energy consumption dropped 11.3%. Those are actually good things,
Yeah.
I would say. But the ironic thing is that he actually promised that he'd increase coal mining jobs. I feel like he went like to West Virginia and actually promised that he would increase that. So, handgun production rose 12.5%. The murder rate rose to the highest level since 1999 in his last year. And he filled 1/3 of the Supreme Court, nearly 30% of the appellate court seats, and 1/4 of district court seats. Like, he did stuff that it's just tacky to do, like how he rammed a Supreme Court justice in right when he was about like leaving. Like, that is like Barack Obama had that same opportunity. He didn't take it. He let the next president pick because that's rightfully for them to do. Trump didn't. What did I say? The Republicans don't do the proper decorum things, and they take what's theirs. So yeah, that's what he did, and he's definitely going to do that again. But I just thought it was interesting that people are voting for him because they think that he's going to put money in their pocket, and no, he actually did all of the opposite during his 4 years in office. So once again, why do we think it's going to be different?
No, and Biden inherited a lot of those things from that administration. I'm not, and so whatever Biden has accomplished, okay, or not accomplished, Trump will inherit in the first, year. And
Yeah.
so whether they're good or they're bad, if they're bad or if they're good, he's going to get the glory and the victory for it. We already know that because he already took a few glory speeches about some things that Biden actually did.
Yeah.
So there's that. I do agree that people aren't educated, and I can say that because I don't know that I was either, but I can say that I was educated in enough of the things that I knew that I didn't align with, and that's just human care about each other and equality, and those are the things I knew he did not have. So
Yeah.
that's why I voted the other way. And if they think that these things are going to change, they're not. We may lower gas prices. We may see that, but we're going to triple in everything else because of the
Oh,
tariffs.
shit. Yeah.
Oh my God. Hold on to yourself because it's going to be a bumpy fucking ride.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can do this. You want to go live next Saturday?
If you want to, or do you feel like Saturday's not the day? You said internet is apparently an issue.
Just today on that.
I could next Saturday, I believe.
All right. Yeah, because I figure at the end of the episode we can tell them when they can find us because it'll help get somebody here.
Let's come back next Saturday.
All right. We'll come back on live on Love You, Miss You, Bye. On Saturday at November 16th. And
How do you do?
Love You. It's the letter U.
I'm like, yeah, but then I'm like, how do I come up with Miss? Never mind.
But we are Simply Vibin'. That is our show. And as soon as you guys go and follow us on YouTube for Simply Vibin' with an N, we will start going live on that channel. You can find this podcast on Simply Vibin' on Apple or Spotify. So let's go through this together. Let's figure out what happens next. And if you're interested in being a part of this, please send us an email. I'll put it on the screen. You can check it out on Simply Vibe and YouTube. So that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, ma'am. Just thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again next week.
We'll see you live next Saturday and Monday, or I don't even know what day I'm going to post this Saturday. So probably Sunday. We'll see. I'll see how fast I can edit it, but we'll get our regular schedule. But for now, lives are on Saturday. Okay.
Alrighty. Holler.
Talk to you later.